早晨。
好，或者我哋都可以幫兩位講者影翻張合照先。
好，不如佢中間呢度啊，唔該。
好，唔該晒大家。好，唔該晒大家。咁提一提大家，記得將個電話設翻為靜音模式。好，咁歡迎大家嚟到個人資料私隱專員公署嘅記者會啦。今日嘅記者會主要以廣東話進行，當中亦都會有英文摘要，最後會係答問時間。我先介紹今日嘅兩位講者，喺左邊嘅係個人資料私隱專員鍾麗玲女士，而另一位係我哋合規及查詢部首席個人資料主任郭正熙先生。Welcome everyone. Today's media briefing will mainly be conducted in Cantonese with an English synopsis, then followed by a Q&A session. Let me first introduce our speakers today. On your left is our Privacy Commissioner for Personal Data, Ms. Ada Chung, and on your right is our Chief Personal Data Officer of the Compliance and Inquiries Division, Mr. Brad Kwok. 咁我哋而家將時間交俾專員。
唔該，各位傳媒朋友，大家好。今日我好高興呢，就同大家見面。同大家分享個人資料私隱專員公署嘅最新工作。今日呢，我係會發表有關消費者委員會資訊系統遭勒索軟件攻擊嘅調查結果嘅。Good morning, friends from the media. I'm pleased to share with you today the latest work of my office. I'll be publishing our investigation findings in relation to a data breach incident relating to a ransomware attack on the information system of the Consumer Council. I'll first present our findings in Cantonese, and this will be followed by the summary in English. So for those of you who speak English, please bear with me for about 25 to 30 minutes. Thank you. 首先講到事件背景呢，咁相信大家都記得喺舊年9月份呢，消費者委員會向公署呢係通報資料外泄事故，表示佢哋嘅伺服器呢係遭受到勒索軟件攻擊。咁喺接獲上述資料外泄事故嘅通報之後呢，公署係對消委會呢係展開調查，以確定消委會呢喺事件入邊嘅作為或者係行為呢，係有冇涉及違反個人資料私隱條例嘅規定。咁我喺就住呢個資料外泄事件呢，係調查翻發生嘅時候採取嘅保安措施嘅。咁一共係進行咗5次嘅查詢，並且係審視咗消委會提供嘅資料。包括消委會委聘嘅網絡安全專家提供嘅調查報告，同埋消委會就呢件事件嘅跟進同埋補救嘅措施。咁我喺呢度呢，亦都係要多謝消委會啦，喺調查當中向我哋提供呢係好多嘅資料，同埋呢係配合我哋嘅調查。事件嘅背景呢，就係喺舊年嘅9月4號啦。黑客組織 Alpha 或者叫做 Black Cat 呢，係獲取並且利用消委會一個具有管理員權限嘅帳戶呢，透過虛擬私有網絡，即係一個 VPN 啦，進入消委會嘅網絡系統。咁而去到9月19至到20號呢，消委會嘅伺服器呢，同埋端點裝置呢，係遭受到勒索軟件攻擊嘅。咁端點裝置呢，其實係包括咗員工嘅，譬如座台電腦啊、手提電腦啊， 或者其他外置嘅資料儲存嘅裝置。咁而消委會咧，亦都好快咁咧喺9月21號咧，係向私隱專員公署咧係通報呢個資料外泄嘅事件。受影響嘅個人資料啦，經過我哋嘅調查同埋係經過呢個網絡保安專家嘅確實啦，呢件事件涉及嘅數據咧係少過1.5 G，而呢個數目咧係包括黑客進入咗消委會之後進行嘅網絡活動，例如係網絡掃描。咁喺呢件事件入邊咧，係有4個再有個人資料嘅檔案咧，係遭受未獲准許嘅查閲，涉及係超過450位人士嘅個人資料，包括投訴人啦、資訊科技服務供應商嘅員工啦、消委會當時嘅現職同埋已經離職嘅員工。咁喺呢個投射片上高咧，我係詳細咁將受影響人士嘅類別啦、人數啦，同埋受影響嘅個人資料咧，都係羅列咗出嚟㗎。咁正如我頭先所講咧，受影響人士嘅類別咧係包括3類嘅。第一類咧就係包括289名投訴人啦。咁而受影響嘅個人資料咧，喺呢方面係包括投訴人嘅姓名啦、手提電話號碼啦、住址或者通訊地址啦、電郵地址啦、佢哋嘅收入嘅範圍啦、年齡嘅範圍啦，同埋佢哋投訴嘅性質同埋撮要嘅。咁第二類受影響嘅類別人士咧，就係包括26名資訊科技服務供應商嘅員工。咁呢個係包括佢哋嘅名啦、職銜啦、電郵地址啦、公司電話號碼啦，同埋手提電話號碼。咁而第3類受影響人士咧，就係事發嘅時候，即係資料外泄嘅時候，138名現職啦，同埋24名已經離職嘅消委會員工。咁受影響嘅個人資料係包括佢哋嘅名啦、所屬部門嘅名稱啦、公司嘅電話號碼啦，同埋一位現職職員嘅職銜。咁調查結果係點呢？我哋係發現黑客組織咧係攞到消委會一個具有管理員權限嘅帳戶憑證啦。帳戶憑證即係包括呢個帳戶嘅，譬如用戶嘅名啦、密碼啦，然後咧係透過虛擬網絡嘅系統一個 VPN 咧，係進入咗消委會嘅網絡。咁黑客係進入咗網絡之後咧，其實係進行咧係利用各種工具咧，進行一啲網絡嘅防禦規避啦、轉除憑證等等嘅惡意活動。咁其實黑客咧，除咗係第一次攞咗呢個具有管理員權限嘅帳戶憑證之外咧，仲另外咧係攞咗3個帳戶嘅憑證嘅。咁其後黑客咧係對消委會嘅伺服器啦，同埋端點裝置係進行勒索軟件攻擊。咁大家如果記得嘅話咧，頭先投射片都有講到，就係喺9月19至到20號咧係進行呢個勒索軟件攻擊。咁呢件事件咧係導致消委會嘅93個系統啦係遭到惡意嘅加密，11個伺服器同埋端點裝置係被黑客入侵。咁呢個端點裝置咧，其實就包括譬如員工嘅座台電腦啊、手提電腦啊，或者係一啲外置嘅係資料嘅儲存嘅裝置。私隱條例嘅相關規定啦。咁喺呢件事入邊咧，消委會咧無可置疑係控制受呢件事件影響嘅人士嘅個人資料嘅收集啦、持有啦、處理同埋使用。因此咧，消委會係屬於私隱條例定義嘅個人資料使用者，係需要遵從私隱條例嘅規定啦，亦都包括私隱條例之下嘅6個保障資料原則。而6個保障資料原則其中一個第4個保障資料原則咧，就係有關個人資料保安嘅規定。 呢個規定呢係規定咗機構即係作為資料使用者呢，係需要採取所有切實可行嘅步驟啦，以確保由佢哋機構持有嘅個人資料係受保障，而唔受未獲准許嘅或者意外嘅查閱啦、處理啦、刪除啦、喪失啦或者使用所影響嘅。咁經過調查，我亦都考慮咗同事件有關嘅事實啦，同埋喺調查過程中所獲得嘅證據。我認為呢件事件呢係由於以下5項缺失所導致嘅，係包括冇為一個遠端存取資料啟用多重認證功能，冇妥善設定用作偵測同埋攔截網絡安全威脅嘅網絡安全軟件，欠缺足夠保安措施，禁止或者係防止喺測試嘅伺服器入邊儲存個人資料。咁另外呢，就係資訊保安政策有欠全面同埋具體。最後呢，就係消委會嘅員工喺保障個人資料私隱同埋網絡安全方面呢，係意識不足嘅。咁喺以下嘅環節呢，我係會就住每一項缺失呢，係比較詳細咁樣同大家解釋一下。第一方面呢，就係冇為遠端存取資料啟用多重認證功能。咁其實消委會嚟講呢，喺2020年11月喺疫症期間呢，係實施在家工作安排，係允許員工透過 VPN 啦，即係一個虛擬嘅私有網絡，遠端咁連接消委會嘅網絡。咁呢個情況呢，同好多其他機構喺疫情期間嘅在家工作安排呢，都係類似嘅。咁但係當時消委會考慮到員工對採用多重認證功能嘅阻力，同埋呢資訊科技部門嘅人手不足呢，係未有為遠端存取資料係啟用多重認證功能，以核實呢啲遠端進入系統嘅用戶嘅身份。咁去到2022年嘅5月，即係疫症嘅後期啦，消委會係取消在家工作安排，咁但係仍然係允許員工呢喺冇多重認證功能嘅情況之下呢，係遠端連接消委會嘅網絡。咁大家都要留意，其實喺事發後喺呢個資料外泄事件之後呢，消委會係暫停咗遠端存取資料嘅安排嘅。咁喺呢件事入邊呢，正如我頭先所講，黑客組織其實就係利用一個具有管理員權限嘅帳戶呢，係憑證呢個帳戶呢，係進入咗消委會嘅系統。咁若然消委會係有為呢個遠端存取資料啟用多重認證功能，以確認用戶嘅身份嘅話呢，我覺得呢個呢就可能係阻止到黑客透過呢個帳戶進入消委會嘅網絡，亦都可以避免隨後嘅勒索軟件攻擊，同埋黑客係查閱消委會系統入邊嘅個人資料。咁我認為消委會呢喺呢件事發生嘅時候呢，未有啟用一個多重認證功能呢，以核實遠端存取資料嘅用戶嘅身份呢，係導致呢件事件發生嘅重要原因。第二方面嘅不足呢，就係冇妥善設定用嚟做偵測同埋攔截網絡安全威脅嘅網絡安全軟件。我哋調查發現，其實喺2020年5月開始呢，消委會係有使用網絡安全軟件呢去偵測同埋攔截網絡安全威脅嘅。咁呢個軟件嘅其中一個功能呢，就係向消委會係偵測到一個網絡安全威脅嘅時候呢，係發出警報。咁但係喺呢件事件發生之後呢，消委會係發現呢個軟件喺嗰個資料外泄事件當中呢，第一，佢係未能攔截黑客進入消委會網絡之後進行嘅惡意活動。第二，呢個軟件原來呢係未有啟動 呢個軟件嘅警報功能，咁令到呢個軟件呢係未能喺偵測到呢個網絡安全威脅之後呢，係向消委會係發出呢個警報嘅電郵。咁我哋喺調查當中亦都有問翻消委會點解呢？點解會有呢個情況呢？咁但係消委會亦都係回應翻啦，答翻我哋就話由於負責網絡安全嘅消委會員工啦，同埋供應商嘅員工都已經離職，咁所以消委會呢係未能夠確定有關嘅原因嘅。咁由於消委會係未有妥善設定呢個網絡安全軟件，係導致呢個軟件呢係未能夠發揮作用。咁如果消委會喺事發之前係有審視呢個軟件嘅效能同埋設定，或者已經修正咗呢個軟件嘅設定，我認為呢就可以增加消委會喺呢件事件入邊係發現黑客早期活動嘅機會，從而呢係避免咗呢個勒索軟件攻擊啦，同埋係個人資料遭受未獲准許嘅查閲。第三方面嘅不足呢，係有關欠缺足夠嘅保安措施，禁止或者係防止喺測試嘅伺服器入邊儲存個人資料。咁我頭先亦都有指出啦，呢個資料外泄事故呢，影響嘅其中一類人士呢，就係投訴人。咁所涉及嘅人數呢，就289名。咁呢289名投訴人嘅個人資料呢，係因為人為錯誤啦，或者疏忽啦，就喺舊年嘅6月開始，即係大概事發之前嘅3個月呢，係被儲存喺一個冇配置網絡安全軟件嘅一個測試嘅伺服器入邊。咁結果隨後呢，就係被黑客攻擊啦。咁消委會係表示呢，佢哋係無意呢喺測試嘅伺服器入邊儲存個人資料嘅。咁但係事發嘅時候呢，消委會亦都係冇任何書面嘅政策係禁止或者係防止員工儲存個人資料喺測試嘅伺服器入邊。咁其實喺原則上呢，一般嚟講，考慮到測試伺服器嘅保安措施呢，一般呢都係比較薄弱嘅。我哋認為機構呢係唔應該將真實嘅個人資料呢係儲存喺測試嘅伺服器入邊。咁如果消委會喺事發之前已經係制定相關嘅政策，係禁止或者係防止員工呢喺呢啲測試伺服器入邊儲存個人資料，明確咁話翻俾員工聽相關嘅政策，同埋制定一啲程序，定期去審視測試伺服器入邊嘅資料。我哋覺得呢就可以減低人為錯誤或者疏忽嘅風險。咁第四方面呢，就係資訊保安政策有欠具體啦，同埋全面。消委會喺資訊保安方面呢，制定嘅政策同埋指引呢，只係列出資訊科技部門日常工作嘅程序啦，同埋定明一般性嘅政策。例如呢，係點樣去建立或者係終止帳戶，同埋呢係借用電子工具或者用具方面個程序啊、資訊啊係點樣。咁而一般性嘅原則呢，主要就係話翻俾啲員工聽點樣去要跟從翻佢哋嗰個，譬如話係密碼嘅政策啊，就點樣要小心遠端存取資料啊。咁但係我哋都睇過相關嘅政策呢，係未有提供全面同埋具體嘅網絡保安框架，或者係資訊科技保安檢視嘅規定同埋程序，係供員工去依循嘅。譬如話係員工嘅角色啦，同埋責任，進行保安審計嘅程序同埋規定等等資料，等員工呢有一個具體嘅網絡保安框架呢，係可以依循。第五方面嘅不足呢，就係消委會嘅員工呢，係缺乏保障個人資料私隱啦，同埋網絡安全嘅意識。 消委會表示呢，其實喺事發之前呢，佢哋係有提供員工嘅培訓同埋傳閱同網絡安全相關嘅資訊，但係呢，我哋發現呢，除咗係因為人為錯誤或者疏忽而儲存一啲個人資料喺測試伺服器之外呢，我哋另外亦都發現呢，係有一名前資訊科技部嘅員工呢，係冇喺呢個系統設定嘅時候呢，實施消委會訂定嘅複雜密碼政策，咁令到呢有關嘅政策呢，喺事發嘅時候未有被貫徹實施嘅。換句話講，雖然消委會係訂定咗一個複雜嘅密碼政策，咁但係呢位前員工呢，就冇喺呢個系統設定嘅時候呢，跟從翻呢個政策去咁樣去作出一個設定嘅。綜合以上嘅不足呢，調查係顯示消委會喺呢件事件發生之前係未有採取所有切實可行嘅步驟啦，係確保涉事嘅個人資料係受保障，而唔受未獲准許嘅或者意外嘅查閱啦、處理、刪除、喪失或者使用所影響。正因為係咁呢，呢啲缺失呢，我係裁定消費者委員會呢係違反咗私隱條例保障資料第4個原則有關個人資料保安嘅規定。咁正因為有呢個違規嘅情況呢，我亦都係向消委會呢係送達咗執行通知嘅。咁喺以下嘅環節呢，我或者請郭主任介紹一下執行通知嘅內容啊。
好，唔該專員。正如頭先專員所講啦，咁啊消委會違反咗保障資料第4原則嘅規定，咁專員隨即咧就發出咗呢個執行通知。咁我講講執行通知嘅內容。專員要求消委會咧為所有咧會遙距存取載有個人資料系統嘅人士咧實施一個多重身份認證，亦都要定期去檢視咧遙距儲存嘅權限。第2點啦，專員要求消委會咧係聘請一個獨立嘅資訊安全專家去檢視消委會嘅資訊系統嘅保安措施啦，去確保呢啲嘅系統咧係具備咗有效嘅偵測同埋一個保安措施嘅。第3點啦，專員要求消委會咧係定期去檢視佢哋資訊系統嘅保安措施，包括亦都唔限於啦佢哋網絡安全軟件嘅設定啦，去確保咧呢啲嘅系統咧係具備有效嘅偵測同埋保安措施。第4點啦，專員要求咧消委會咧係制定一個清晰同埋全面嘅政策同埋程序，去禁止或者係防止咧消委會嘅員工咧喺測試伺服器裏邊咧去儲存一啲個人資料。第5點啦，專員亦都要求消委會咧去制定清晰同埋全面嘅資訊系統保安政策同埋程序。呢個政策同程序咧係需要涵蓋防範、偵測以及去應對網絡攻擊嘅各種管控措施，進行一啲風險評估同埋保安審計嘅要求嘅。咁因應頭先所講嘅第4、第5項嘅政策同程序咧，專員要求咧消委會咧去制定同埋實施有效嘅措施咧，去確保員工咧去遵從呢啲政策同埋程序嘅。第7點啦，專員亦都要求咧消委會去加強數據安全同埋資料保護嘅培訓，每年咧至少為全體員工咧舉辦一次講座啦、研討會或者一啲工作坊，亦都要去建立一個評估嘅機制，確保員工咧係準確咁去理解相關課程嘅內容嘅。最後啦，根據呢個執行通知嘅要求咧，專員要求消委會係喺執行通知日期起計2個月內，向專員提供文件，證明頭先已經完成晒頭先所講第1至第7項嘅指示嘅。咁因應發出咗呢個執行通知啦，如果消委會咧係違反執行通知嘅話咧，係即屬犯罪，而最高嘅刑罰咧係罰款港幣5萬蚊同埋監禁2年嘅。另外啦，因應今次嘅調查咧，專員希望可以對唔同嘅機構啦發出一個提供一啲建議咧，去增強佢哋嘅數據安全嘅措施、保安措施咁樣。裏邊總共有5點。 咁啊，講個內容啦。第一點咧，專員建議啦，機構對遙距登入資訊同埋通訊系統嘅機構咧，係使用多重身份認證，去減低佢哋個資訊系統咧被攻擊嘅風險嘅。第二點，專員建議機構咧係設立一個穩健嘅網絡保安框架，喺防範啦、偵測啦、應對網絡攻擊方面咧，係投放足夠嘅資源同埋制定佢哋有效嘅策略同埋措施咧，去減低咧被攻擊嘅可能性同埋資料外泄嘅風險嘅。第三點啦，機構亦都應該咧定期對佢哋嘅資訊系統咧進行風險評估同埋保安審計。第四點，專員建議機構啦去建立一個重視數據安全嘅企業文化。最後啦，即係除咗建立一個企業文化之外咧，亦都需要咧去建立一個有效嘅培訓計劃啦，加強員工咧喺數據安全同埋個人資料方面嘅意識同埋能力嘅。咁呢5點就係專員喺呢次調查裏邊提供嘅建議。我而家將個時間交翻俾專員。
Ladies and gentlemen, let me recap some key points of my presentation in English. On completion of our investigation into a data breach incident relating to a ransomware attack on the information systems of the Consumer Council, I'm publishing our investigation findings today. The investigation arose from a data breach notification launched by the Consumer Council with us in September last year, reporting that its servers had been attacked by ransomware. Upon receipt of the data breach notification, I commenced an investigation against the Council regarding the incident to assess whether the Council's acts or practices relating to the incident had contravened the requirements of the Personal Data Privacy Ordinance. During the investigation, I conducted 5 rounds of inquiries regarding the security measures adopted by the Council at the time of the incident. I examined various information provided by the Council relating to the incident, including an investigation report compiled by the cybersecurity expert engaged by the Council. I also considered the follow-up and remedial measures taken by the Council in the wake of the incident. As a result of our investigation, and as confirmed by the cybersecurity expert, the volume of data involved in the incident was less than 1.5 gigabytes. And this figure included traffic data generated by the hackers' activities, including, for example, network scanning. The incident resulted in unauthorized access to 4 files of the Consumer Council, which contained the personal data of more than 450 individuals, including complainants, personnel of information technology service vendors, and the current and former staff members of the Council at the time. I've set out details of the data subjects affected and also the personal data affected on this slide. Broadly, the first group of data subjects affected included 289 complainants, and the personal data affected included their names, mobile phone numbers, residential or communication addresses, email addresses, income ranges, age ranges, brief nature, or information about their complaints. And the second group of data subjects affected included 26 personnel of information technology service vendors. And this affected their names, titles, email addresses, office telephone numbers, and mobile phone numbers. And the third group of data subjects affected included 138 current and 24 former staff members of the Council at the time. And the data affected included their names, work divisions, office telephone numbers, and one current employee's title. As a result of our investigation, we found that on the 4th of September last year, a hacker group identified as Alva or Black Cat had obtained the credentials of a user account with administrative privileges. Credentials in this regard means the username and also the password. After gaining access to the system, the hacker then carried out various malicious activities in the system, including, for example, defense evasion, credential dumping, and the hacker managed to obtain the credentials of 3 other accounts. The hacker then deployed ransomware in the servers and endpoints of the Consumer Council between 19th and 20th of September last year. A total of 93 systems of the Council were maliciously encrypted, and 11 servers and workstations were accessed by the hacker in the incident. Having considered all the evidence provided to us during the investigation and the facts surrounding the data breach incident, I consider that the incident was caused by the following deficiencies of the Council. First of all, failure to enable multi-factor authentication for remote access to data, thereby allowing the hacker to gain access to the Council's network through the compromised account credentials, conduct ransomware attack, and access the personal data held by the Council without any authority or authorization. Secondly, failure to properly configure the cybersecurity solutions adopted to detect and block cybersecurity threats, resulting in the failure of the cybersecurity solutions to send email alerts to the Council when cybersecurity threats were detected. Actually, the cybersecurity solutions should have sent email alerts to the Council when it detected cybersecurity threats. However, in this case, because of a failure to properly configure the cybersecurity solutions, the relevant email alert was not sent at the time of the incident. And thirdly, lack of sufficient safeguard to prohibit or prevent the storage of personal data on testing servers, which led to the personal data of 289 complainants held by the Council being stored on a testing server that was not protected by the cybersecurity solutions because of human error or oversight. And this, in turn, exposed the data in question to hacking attack. Another deficiency relates to the lack of concrete measures and comprehensiveness in the policies on information security, which did not provide a concrete cybersecurity framework or IT security review requirements and procedures for these staff members to follow. Actually, in the Council's policies, there was no provision on the requirement to conduct risk assessments or security audits, not to mention the frequency of conducting the assessments and audits. The fifth deficiency relates to inadequate awareness of information security and data protection. Apart from the storage of personal data on the testing server owing to human error or oversight, the investigation also revealed that a former IT staff member had not enforced the complex password policy of the Council in the system settings at the time of the incident, thereby rendering its password policy ineffective. Given all these deficiencies, I consider that the Council had not taken all practicable steps to ensure that the personal data involved was protected against unauthorized or accidental access, processing, erasure, loss, or use. In the circumstances, I find that the Consumer Council contravened Data Protection Principle 4 of the Personal Data Privacy Ordinance regarding the security of personal data. Given the contravention, I've therefore served an enforcement notice on the Council, directing the Council to remedy the contravention and also to prevent similar recurrence of the contravention in future. And here are the contents of the enforcement notice. The directions include to implement multi-factor authentication of all remote users and also regularly conduct review of the remote access privileges, to engage an independent information security expert to review the security measures of the Consumer Council's information systems to ensure that the information systems have effective detection and security measures in place. And thirdly, to regularly review the security measures of the Council's information systems, including but not limited to the configuration of the cyber security solutions. I'll also direct the Council to devise clear and comprehensive policies and procedures to prohibit or prevent the storage of personal data on texting servers, to devise clear and comprehensive information security policies and procedures to cover various control measures for preventing, detecting, and responding to cyber attacks, as well as the requirements on conducting risk assessments and security audits. I'd also direct the Council to devise and implement effective measures to ensure staff compliance with the procedures and policies requested in the enforcement notice. Last but not least, I'd also directed the Council to strengthen training on data security and data protection by staff members for all staff members at least once a year. I'll also direct the Council to provide documentary proof to me within 2 months from the date of the enforcement notice, showing their compliance and completion of all the actions required in the enforcement notice. Through this report, I would also like to make various recommendations to organizations which use information and communication technologies for processing personal data. And the recommendations include to adopt multi-factor authentication for remote access to information systems to minimize the risk of cyber attacks, to establish a robust cybersecurity framework, allocate sufficient resources, and formulate effective strategies and measures to prevent, detect, and respond to cyber attacks, conduct regular risk assessments and security audits of information systems, to establish a corporate culture that values data security, and to devise effective training plans to enhance staff awareness and competence in data security and personal data protection. In this regard, I would like to emphasize that staff awareness and competence in data protection is of critical importance because staff would operate the information system, and also because the compromise of one staff account may lead to the hacking of the entire information system of the organization. And with that, I've come to the end of my presentation. I'm happy to take any questions that you may have. Thank you.
好，唔該晒專員。跟住落嚟係答問時間，大家如果有問題可以先舉手，然後講出你哋嘅名同埋所屬機構。So now we open the floor for questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and let us know your name and organization. 前面白色衫，第二行呢位男士。
有線新聞，首先想問下咧，即係而家事發嗰一個帳戶啦，有管理員權限嘅帳戶，其實黑客組織係一開始係點樣獲取到呢個帳戶嘅權限咧？其實嗰個員工本身係一個咩部門嘅員工，係點嘅員工？資料外泄其實關唔關佢個人責任？有冇人為嘅疏忽喺度咧？第二咧就係見翻即係5點嘅缺失。有其中3點咧都特別提到呢個消委會資訊科技部嘅，即係有提到佢哋嘅缺失啦。 即係其中呢個部門咧，除咗人手不足裝唔到呢個多重認證之外啦，又因為即係有人已經離職啦，裝唔到網絡安全軟件啦。咁其實呢個部門其實點解成日都有呢啲離職同埋人手不足嘅問題咧？如果人手不足嘅話，其實而家請到人未咧？即係有冇同消委會了解過咧？唔該。
好多謝呢個問題。第一個問題咧就係有關呢個最初嗰個用戶嗰個憑證啦，點解黑客係攞到嘅？咁呢個咧就其實我哋嘅調查啦，同埋係呢個網絡安全專家嘅調查啦，其實都有係循呢個方向去調查嘅。咁但係咧就相關嘅員工咧，其實係提供唔到一個確實嘅原因。咁所以咧就現時嚟講咧，我哋亦都唔能夠理解點解佢嗰個用戶嘅帳戶憑證咧係俾黑客攞咗嘅。咁呢個咧就消委會亦都解釋唔到嘅。咁另外就係有關嗰個消委會嗰個科技部門嘅工作嘅問題啦。咁當然啦，我哋調查咧主要就係調查翻資料外泄事故嗰個成因啦、背景啦，有咩方面咧係做得不足咁樣。咁所以我哋咧就係覺得呢件事件咧係由5項缺失係導致嘅。咁當然啦，之後咧我哋亦都睇到消委會咧係其實都採取咗好多嘅步驟啦，去係改正翻呢啲缺失。咁至於佢哋人手方面嘅問題咧，就我相信咧就我哋我哋唔可以代佢答到啊。
你好，商台嘅。首先想問翻，都係關注翻即係嗰5項嘅一啲缺失啦。其實見到頭先第一個原因講話冇啟用到多重認證功能啦，其中一個原因係話有一啲喺員工上面嘅阻力，想問嗰個阻力其實係咩意思咧？即係邊一方面嘅阻力咧？另一方面想問到啦，因為其實今次嘅緣起係因為消委會喺2020年都有實施呢個在家工作嘅安排啦。咁其實呢一種在家工作嘅模式，其實喺疫情之後好多中小企都有繼續使用啦。咁但係一啲多重認證嘅一啲嘅功能，可能都會涉及一啲成本啦。就呢一方面，私隱專員會唔會向一啲其他嘅中小企都有啲建議喺設置多重認證方面要點樣處理咧？最後想問埋就係另一個原因就係話消委會一啲嘅員工同埋一啲供應商嘅員工喺嗰個網絡安全軟件負責嗰啲2位員工都已經離職啦。咁其實係咪即係頭先講過唔能夠代消委會答一啲人手問題，但係咪一啲涉及一啲人手不足而令到今次嘅事件係未能夠可以妥善去偵測到呢一個網絡安全軟件唔 work 嘅呢一個問題咧？亦都會有啲建議俾翻一啲可能都係同樣面對一啲人手不足喺一啲嘅一啲嘅中小企或者啲公營機構，可以點樣處理呢一方面嘅事件咧？唔該晒。
3個問題好多謝呢3個問題。第一個咧就係有關員工嘅喺裝呢個多重認證功能嘅阻力方面。咁我哋調查發現咧，就根據翻消委會提供嘅資料咧，相關嘅當時係引入在家工作安排嘅時候咧，係確實有考慮過咧。應唔應該裝呢個多重認證功能嘅？咁但係咧，因為佢哋嘅多重認證功能咧，係需要係喺員工嘅一啲裝置嗰度咧，係再額外就係裝一啲軟件嘅。咁所以咧就員工方面咧就係有聲音嘅，就唔想裝呢啲即係額外嘅軟件。咁所以呢個咧就係當時員工嘅阻力啦。咁至於在家工作安排。咁喺在家工作安排一般嚟講咧，其實我哋係知悉呢個新嘅常態。咁喺呢個數碼世界咧，在家工作安排咧，亦都係一個新嘅趨勢。咁但係我都想指出咧，機構嚟講咧，就算係推出在家工作安排咧，都一定要小心同埋注意咧網絡安全。因為在家工作安排咧，始終咧涉及一啲遙距嘅登入你嘅資訊系統。咁遙距登入嘅時候咧，係多一重風險嘅。例如機構要考慮下，佢哋涉及嗰個數據或者係個人資料係唔係敏感咧？數量多唔多咧？ 係唔係應該係再加大個保障呢？譬如話傳輸嘅時候，係咪需要有一個加密嘅程序呢？係唔係應該要有一個雙重認證嘅安排呢？咁我哋了解呢，其實市面上亦都有好多類型嘅雙重認證嘅軟件嘅，有啲咧就未必係需要涉及咧喺員工嘅裝置嗰度咧，再加一啲額外嘅裝置嘅。咁嗰個雙重認證嘅安排咧，好簡單嚟講咧，就係話除咗一次性一個密碼之外咧，就會多一個一次性嘅密碼。咁而呢個一次性嘅密碼咧，係可以用譬如電郵嘅形式或者係短信嘅形式俾翻員工。咁我哋亦都睇過咧，我自己亦都親身睇過一啲資訊科技嘅文獻咧。其實如果多咗一個一次性嘅密碼、雙重認證密碼嘅功能嘅話咧，相關嗰個網絡保護咧係可以提升到咧去到超過99%嘅。咁至於人手不足方面啦，一般嚟講咧，我哋都非常之明白咧，中小企咧可能係資源亦都唔足夠啦，或者係呢個資訊科技部門嘅人手可能亦都係唔係話真係咁足夠啦。咁我哋亦都建議咧，其實佢哋喺呢個情況之下咧，都可以考慮係外聘或者係揾一啲網絡安全專家係幫一幫手。咁同埋我哋亦都有留意到咧，市面上其實好多嘅機構咧都已經推出一啲係免費嘅服務，係測試譬如話自己嗰個網頁嘅安全啦。咁如果譬如話中小企有呢方面嘅問題嘅話咧，其實私隱公署喺舊年11月咧，我哋亦都推出咧係數據安全係3大法寶，就包括我哋數據安全嘅網頁啦，係提供係一站式嘅資訊。咁另外咧就係數據安全嘅快測嘅評估專頁啦。咁我哋咧係提供咗一個係好簡單嘅評估工具，中小企咧就只需要答咗譬如12條問題，我哋就會提供一啲係建議同埋係一啲相關嘅資料係俾佢哋參考嘅。咁另外咧，我哋亦都有一個數據安全熱線，咁亦都好歡迎係有問題嘅中小企咧係聯絡我哋，我哋亦都係會盡量幫手嘅。
你好，東方日報㗎。首先想問一問咧，就係啱啱見到提到話，即係佢通報嘅時候咧，其實有即係事件發生係9月4號啦，去到消委會通報呢件事係9月21號啦。你哋提到嘅5點缺失咧，都冇提到話，即係佢哋花咗呢個時長先至同你哋即係通報呢件事件啦。其實覺得即係花咗咁多時間先至同你哋通報，係咪一個缺失啦？有冇話建議，如果即係有其他一啲企業或者即係部門都發生同類型嘅事件，其實應該要幾多日？係咪即刻其實就應該要同你哋通報啦？另外都想問一問咧，就係見到你哋其中一點缺失咧，都有提到話其實有啲嗰個投訴人嘅個人資料咧，係因為人為錯誤同埋疏忽咧，先至即係儲存咗喺一啲冇配置網絡安全軟件嘅伺服器測試伺服器內啦。其實就住呢一點咧，都見到你哋冇話即係作出一啲檢控或者其實會唔會話需要同消委會再去做一啲追責嘅行為？因為你哋有提到話，即係除非佢違反嗰個執行通知，即係唔做咁樣先會屬於犯罪啦。其實有冇需要進行一啲檢控嘅工作啦？另外都最後想問一問，就係有冇就住呢件事件收到任何一啲求助或者投訴，係有幾多宗咁樣？唔該你。
好多謝3個問題。第一個咧就有關嗰個通報嗰度，咁個通報嗰度咧，或者我去翻嗰個投射片。大家好清楚喺呢個投射片睇到咧。咁其實我哋調查發現咧，黑客咧就係9月4號咧係進入咗消委會嘅網絡嘅。咁正如我頭先解釋啦，喺進入咗網絡之後咧，黑客係進行咗一連串嘅活動啦。咁但係因為咧相關嗰個網絡安全嘅軟件咧， 佢係應該有一個電郵嘅警示係俾翻消委會嘅，咁但係佢就冇俾到，咁所以咧就消委會其實咧係喺9月20號咧係應該係朝早咧先係發現咧佢哋嗰個伺服器啦同埋端點裝置係遭受到勒索軟件攻擊嘅嚇，即係換句話講咧，佢係9月20號先知道嘅，咁佢係9月21號咧就已經係向我哋通報嘅。咁所以我哋覺得咧喺呢件事嘅處理方面咧，係我哋係覺得都係一個及時嘅通報嚟嘅。咁第二方面啦，就係有關呢個喺呢個測試嗰個伺服器嗰度咧，就放咗一啲個人資料。咁現時嚟講咧，私隱條例咧係正如我亦都指出啦，私隱條例保障資料第4個原則咧，就係有關資料保安嘅規定。咁如果違反咗資料保安嘅規定，即係私隱條例嘅保障資料原則咧，我哋經過調查之後咧，私隱公署現時嘅權力咧就係可以發出執行通知。咁如果消費者委員會係違反執行通知嘅話咧，就係會係一個刑事罪行啦。咁我哋就會依循翻刑事檢控咁樣去跟進事件。咁呢個咧就同其他所有機構咧都係一樣嘅。咁但係你話喺未發出呢個執行通知，或者喺發出執行通知之後嘅期間咧，我會唔會再進一步去檢控咧？咁呢個就真係要視乎佢哋會唔會係違反執行通知所指示嘅要求。咁而第3點咧就係有關我哋收到嘅查詢或者係投訴嘅個案，我或者請郭主任講講。
好，咁由事件發生至到現時為止咧，公署總共係接獲到20宗嘅查詢同埋8宗嘅投訴嘅。
香港文匯嘅，咁第一個問題就想問下，即係而家香港發生多宗呢啲資料外泄嘅發生啦，咁都想問下係咪就係香港私隱保障不足啦？咁都想再問翻，即係呢一個5個缺失，會唔會有一啲根本性嘅錯誤，可以令到一啲公司係可以警惕咧？咁都想再問下，即係呢個定期檢視有冇話具體話1個月啊，或者係每半年啊咁樣，會唔會有個具體嘅數字咧？唔該晒。
多謝3個問題。第一咧就係現時嚟講咧，就嗰個資料外泄事故比較多咁樣啦。咁其實呢個咧就唔單止係香港嘅情況，咁呢個咧可以話係一個全球性嘅情況嚟嘅。咁喺全球性嘅情況嚟講咧，我亦都想指出咧，譬如喺最近咧，美國有一個醫療集團 United Health Group 咧，亦都係俾呢個勒索軟件係攻擊嘅，咁損失咧係接近8億嘅美金。咁而喺2022年咧，澳洲嘅 Medibank 咧一樣咧，就係因為員工嘅帳戶係被盜咧，係引致一個好大型嘅資料外泄事故。咁呢個係影響咗係900萬澳洲市民嘅驗疏嘅記錄。咁當然啦，喺全球性嚟講咧，因為係數碼年代啦，咁亦都資訊係發達啦，咁所以如果係話到資料外泄事故咧，我覺得都係無可避免咧，係會增多嘅。因為始終咧資料特別係個人資料咧，都係有價有市嘅。咁黑客好多時進行呢啲網絡攻擊活動之後咧，就係會將有關嘅個人資料喺一個暗網或者黑網入邊出售啦，就係賺錢嘅。咁所以咧就喺網絡世界咧，我亦都想喺呢度呼籲啦，企業無論係大企或者係中小企也好咧，都真係唔好慳錢。就應該咧係投放適當嘅資源咧，係保障翻佢哋嘅資訊系統，特別咧就係客戶嘅個人資料。因為喺客戶嘅個人資料嚟講咧，如果係稍一不慎咧，引致資料外泄事故咧，好多時都真係得不償失嘅。咁另外啦，就我哋今日調查發現嘅5個缺失，對其他機構嚟講咧，我覺得咧。就我都希望係起到一個警示嘅作用，因為我哋睇到嘅缺失咧， 都係一啲係可以彌補到嘅缺失嘅，就唔係話呢啲缺失係彌補唔到。譬如話呢個資訊保安嘅政策，咁呢個咧就我知道相關機構咧而家亦都係已經係審視緊佢哋嘅政策，係會再係詳細啲、全面啲咁樣去寫翻清楚佢哋嘅政策。咁另外譬如話喺系統嘅設定方面啦，或者係冇引入呢個多重認證功能方面啦，咁呢啲措施咧，其實係在咧都係一般機構咧唔需要嘥好多錢就可以做到嘅。咁喺呢度咧，我亦都想係指出咧，私隱公署咧喺2022年咧，我哋就已經係發出咗一個資訊、通訊同埋通訊科技嘅資料保安政策指引。咁呢個保安政策指引咧，就係提供俾機構企業去考慮同埋跟從嘅。咁呢個指引咧，除咗係話建議咗一啲機構性嘅措施之外，亦都係建議咗一系列嘅保安嘅措施俾機構係去依從嘅。咁另外第三個問題咧，就有關嗰個定期檢視呢個資訊系統嘅安全嘅問題。咁呢個咧就要幾耐先係定期，或者應該幾耐係做一次咧咁樣。咁呢個當然咧就會視乎每個機構嗰個需要而定。咁就視乎機構嘅大細啦，個人資料嘅多寡啦，同埋個人資料嘅敏感性。譬如話如果你係一個持有大量敏感嘅個人資料，例如係一啲醫療記錄嘅話，咁你個定期檢視當然係要頻密啲啦。咁亦都要係全面性啦，因為我哋嘅經驗睇到咧，好多機構雖然話佢有檢視，咁但係往往咧原來檢視咗係80%，有2成仲未有檢視，咁結果咧就嗰2成出事啦。咁所以呢個咧就真係要100%去檢視，咁同埋咧都要係適時係作出一個檢視嘅。我諗剔多2條啦。
係，你好，Now 㗎，想問下，因為上年消委會外泄事故嗰時就話係俾黑客勒索贖金啦，咁想問下消委會最後係咪冇交到贖金，同埋喺暗網上面有冇揾到呢啲外泄嘅資料咧？同埋頭先都有講過話，即係消委會個資訊科技個部門個人手問題啦，咁相信好多機構都有相似嘅問題啦。咁想問下公署會唔會覺得政府應該有一啲撥款去短期幫助一啲企業或者唔同嘅部門去增撥呢個人手，或者一啲軟件去減少呢啲情況咧？唔該。
第一個問題咧就贖金嘅問題。咁呢個贖金嘅問題咧，就我哋都留意到咧，其實消委會都係有一啲新聞稿係發咗嘅，就話佢哋係唔會交贖金嘅。咁第二個問題咧就有關資料係唔係喺暗網度即係仲喺度咧咁樣。咁呢個問題咧，其實就我相信大家都明白，喺網絡世界咧今日冇唔代表聽日冇，聽日冇唔代表後日冇。咁所以呢個網絡世界咧，其實係每一日都有變化嘅。咁所以呢個咧更凸顯咗資料外泄事故嘅嚴重性。因為資料一外泄咗咧，就等於譬如話你有黑客攞咗，就去咗個大海嗰度。咁變咗你今日揾唔到，唔代表聽日冇。咁亦都唔知道個黑客幾時會攞呢啲資料出嚟，或者係出嚟去賣。咁另外咧就係有關呢個資源嘅問題。咁我亦都想指出咧，資料外泄事故咧影響嘅唔單止係公營部門、政府部門，亦都係包括私人企業。咁所有企業咧，不論係公私營企業，都應該係重視數據安全，亦都係應該提升佢哋嘅資料保障嘅措施。咁喺政府方面咧，我了解到咧，亦都留意到咧，資科辦嗰方面咧，亦都係已經採取咗一系列嘅措施啦，亦都係推出咗一啲新嘅指引，係俾政府部門去遵從嘅。咁當然呢方面嘅工作咧，我會覺得係所有相關嘅機構咧，都應該係真係加一把勁。或者最後2條。
Some English questions from RTHK. So about the timeline of the incident, because hackers entered the server in early September. So, but the council only realized on September 20th. So, is there anything that the council could have done, or what should have the council do to realize the data breach earlier? And the second question, because the council allowed the staff to connect to its server using the VPN, but why did it fail to enable the multi-factor authentication? And also, is it a must for such an authentication? And is it common or practical to do so, given that there are so many similar incidents here?
Thank you. Two questions. The first question relates to the timeline of the discovery of the incident. As I have said, the hacker managed to gain access to the information system on the 4th of September, but the council only discovered the hacking attack on the 20th of September. It is primarily because of a malfunction of the cybersecurity solution adopted by the council. In other words, the cybersecurity solution was supposed to send an email alert to the council once it detected any cybersecurity attack. However, in this case, after the incident, the council discovered that the cybersecurity solution was not properly configured. And that was why, even though it detected the attack in question, it did not send any email alert to the council for this particular incident. And that was why the council only discovered the cyber attack on the 20th of September. And to avoid this, the solution or the way to do it is to properly configure the cybersecurity solution. And we understand that the council has already done this after the incident. The second question is about remote access and the need to enable the multi-factor authentication. As regards multi-factor authentication, I would strongly advise organizations and companies to enable their multi-factor authentication in any remote access to the information systems. This is because it will provide additional protection to the entire information system, other than just by relying on a password. By enabling the multi-factor authentication, a one-time password will be generated by the system. And that means the password will be given to the user in question either through email or through SMS messages. And that will provide you with a one-time password. And according to some information technology literature, the protection given by this multi-factor authentication will be enhanced to over 99% if this feature is enabled. And that is why I would strongly advise organizations to enable the multi-factor authentication. Last question.
你好，兩位雜誌社嘅，想問翻專員3方面問題啦，即係跟進翻行家頭先問過，即係一開頭黑客攞到嗰個賬戶憑證，有冇話係嚟自邊一個部門啦？同埋係咪即係一個已經離職咗嘅員工去攞即係去擁有呢一個賬戶憑證咧？第二都想問翻，即係頭先提到話一個網絡安全軟件佢冇即係按翻佢嗰個作用去提出嗰個警報啦。頭先就提到話，即係因為嗰啲員工同埋供應商員工都離職咗，所以就了解唔到個原因。有冇話即係而家喺啲員工離職咗之後，法例上私隱專員公署有冇權限去揾翻一啲已經離職咗嘅員工去了解翻成件事嗰個詳細嘅資訊呢？最後都想問翻，即係消委會一開頭交代成件事故嘅時候，都有提到話好多資訊都未必清楚啦，即係要等到撕票之後先掌握到一啲資料。但係頭先專員都有提到話，即係撕票呢啲嘢今日未必即係網上有啦，聽日可能會有。而家即係點樣評論一啲涉及資料外泄嘅單位啦？佢哋似乎係一個比較被動嘅狀態，即係要被撕票先可以了解到嗰啲資訊。點樣評論呢個狀況咧？即係有冇一啲建議係一啲SME 佢可以做到嘅，可以唔使等到撕票先要了解到呢啲資訊咧，同埋即係而家都 接連有個機構被黑客入侵啦，你哋會建議即係呢啲機構會唔會係唔交贖金，係即係都係冇辦法等到啲資料可能被撕票咁樣嘅狀況咧？唔該。
係4條問題。第一條問題咧就係有關呢個帳戶憑證啦，就黑客攞咗個帳戶憑證咧，就調查係發現咧，其實嗰個帳戶憑證咧係屬於呢個資訊科技部門員工嘅嚇，咁就其他嘅詳情我就不便再披露啦，因為呢個始終都涉及一個資訊保安嘅考慮啦。咁至於話職員離職咗係點樣追究咧？咁樣咁呢個咧就根據私隱條例咧，我哋嘅關注點咧，同埋私隱條例規管嘅咧，規管嘅係資料使用者，即係邊個去控制呢個相關嘅資料嘅收集啦、持有啦、處理啦或者刪除。咁喺呢個個案入邊咧，無可置疑，消費者委員會咧就係呢個資料使用者。咁我哋咧就所以咧成個調查咧都係就住呢件事件入邊，消費者委員會有冇做過一啲乜嘢措施做咗，乜嘢措施冇做，而係去作出一個結論嘅。咁至於呢個贖金嘅問題咧，咁其實咧就喺所有嘅資料外泄事故咧，特別係涉及黑客嘅入侵，或者係已經有一個要求俾贖金嘅情況咧，我哋都係強烈建議機構咧，千祈唔好俾贖金，因為就算俾咗贖金咧，都唔代表你嘅個人資料係可以攞翻嚟。問題就係呢啲資料俾黑客攞咗，去點樣去使用呢啲資料，或者去披露呢啲資料，相關嘅機構係唔會知道嘅。咁所以就算話你真係俾咗贖金咧，都唔會話可以防止到呢啲資料係被黑客或者係被第三者咧去進一步披露。所以我哋係強烈建議機構千祈唔好俾贖金，呢個咧係一個犯法嘅行為，我哋咧就唔應該係縱容呢啲犯法嘅黑客嘅。咁另外咧就係有關嗰個機構方面點樣去處理一個資料外泄事故，點樣去防止一個資料外泄事故咧？咁樣咁呢個咧，我哋其實喺2023年6月嘅時候咧，就已經係發出咗一個資料外泄事故嘅指引同埋通報嘅單張。咁呢個咧就其實係已經介紹咗俾機構聽咧，點樣去處理一個資料外泄事故啦，同埋咧佢哋應該點樣去未雨綢繆，去防備自己，去應對一個資料外泄事故。咁所以喺呢個指引入邊咧，我哋亦都羅列咗咧一個係應對資料外泄事故嘅應變嘅計劃嘅詳情。咁我哋係建議機構咧係可以參考相關嘅指引啦，係作出一啲預備嘅工作。因為資料外泄事故咧喺數碼世界嚟講咧，就會即係我覺得咧就會都係會有上升嘅趨勢嘅。咁所以機構嚟講咧，就真係要投放適當嘅資源啦，裝備好自己，亦都要諗下點樣去令自己嘅資訊系統嘅保安方面係做得更好，同埋更好咁保障客戶嘅個人資料。多謝呢個問題。
好，唔該晒專員。咁今日嚟到記者會嘅尾聲啦，咁大家如果之後有問題嘅話，都可以聯絡我哋企業傳訊部嘅同事。咁我哋都準備咗啲輕食俾大家，多謝大家出席。
多謝晒。好啊，冇問題。